Good evening and welcome to Documentary New Zealand. Andy Warhol said in the future everybody will be world famous for 15 minutes. But if that happened, would we be able to cope with it? What would it be like living your life in a goldfish bowl? We assume that fame and fortune and adoration go hand in hand, but in tonight's documentary we explore the price of fame. Are we as a nation too hard on our celebrities? And is celebrity in New Zealand really worth it?
Many of us growing up dream of fame. To be famous would mean we'd really made it. Success, happiness and good fortune would be ours forever and ever. Or so the fairy tale goes. But what the fairy tale forgets to mention is the price of fame. What is life really like for those whose dreams of fame do come true? How do they cope with the public pressure, the fame machine, media scrutiny, and in a small country like New Zealand, loss of privacy? More than anyone, the made-for-TV pop star group True Bliss epitomized the fantasy of being transformed into stars and becoming famous.
One day I knew it would be my destiny to be famous. Oh, shush, Erica. No, I always wanted to be famous, and that is not a lie.
I think fame is attractive, though. I think that the media wants you to believe that fame is attractive. That's
Especially
why...
when you're little.
Exactly. And I mean, you're just always with these images of famous actresses and singers and the whole lifestyle that goes along with it.
It's so
everybody
glamorous.
gets addicted to it. I mean, when people say overnight success, I sit there and go, oh yeah, but was it really overnight? But then it was for us.
True Bliss did become a media sensation, but they weren't prepared for the negative public response.
It was straight away, oh, there goes those Spice Girl wannabes. It wasn't, oh my gosh, there are 5 really talented New Zealand girls. You know, it was like, oh God, they're such tryhards. And I think for me, to have people, you know, dog you all the time like that was really, really hard.
So, I mean, there was people that came up and said, oh, it's so good to see, you know, somebody that's not like really, really tiny going out there and, you know, doing it and being a role model. And then there was the other people that said, get off the stage, you fat cow, you know? Oh, and, you know, if they didn't have that Joe, they could be doing so much better. Do you know what I mean? And, like, at first I wasn't aware that I would be exposed to that, but that's the other side of being in this position.
That makes them like you, doesn't it? That makes them go, wow.
Women's magazine editor Wendell Nissen was called in to counsel True Bliss. More than most, she knows about the reality of fame.
The New Zealand public owns its stars. And
Oh, please, whatever. And you just go, hi, yeah, you know, try and smile. But really, deep down, you want to go, well, you bloody try and go up on stage in front of 3,000 people and sing your heart out, you know? So, you know, because you were now, you know, in the public eye, you had to always have that nice, lovely persona, which we are naturally anyway. But when somebody's being really rude to you, you don't really want to. But that comes with a job.
People will come up and they will say whatever negative, like, you know, oh, you skanky slapper or whatever, but I can't even say what people would, they just are abusive and they feel as though they have the right to take out whatever insecurities they have in their home life out on you. And I think...
And sometimes it wasn't even what they said, it was the way they looked at us and went like, oh, you know, and we'd be like, what?
A television series changed the lives of these women. But while they're still treated as celebrities, a year down the track, the reality is they still need to work.
Because we're at that stage where we're not, and we haven't for a long time, made enough money to survive with what we do. And it becomes a problem when you then have to go back to doing other work because you've been in the public eye and you're supposed to have this profile. And to have to go and look then for a job where you're in the public eye all the time and people are like, well, what does this mean? Does this mean that you're not in the group? Are you not famous? What's going on? You know, it kind of takes away from that persona that you want out there.
Along with fame as well, but I don't anymore.
I know better now.
Yeah. We didn't have money, but if we said something about it, we were moaning. And if we didn't say something, they would assume that we had money and therefore we were undeserving cows.
I mean, I could be working in a supermarket and earning what I was earning kind of thing. It was not, we weren't on a lot of money. We didn't earn a lot of money, and if anything, most of the time we had nothing. You know, we did have the advantage of borrowing things to wear for events, but you had to give them back at the end. And unfortunately, that again gave people the image that we had all this stuff and we had all this money, but really it was like, you know, okay, well, here's your clothes back, I'll just stick my tracksuit pants and my t-shirt back on and, you know, go on home.
2-minute noodles.
Yeah, exactly. So it's really difficult that you have to uphold this perspective of being rich, famous, gorgeous, got everything, and then just it's the total flip side.
The reality is born, but it can turn into a nightmare. Your chances of survival are as good as your ability to manage the pressures of fame.
We want that attention, and then, you know, you get jaded because you're like, oh, I love this attention, but then people are freaking me out. I can't handle everyone looking at me or whatever. Can they just stop? You know, oh my God, I feel just like I'm so out there, I just don't know what to do with myself. And then when people stop looking, you're like, wait, hang on. But wait, I'm still famous. Come on. Just recognize me, little girl, please.
Many negative things about the price of fame. I still want to be famous.
That's the bitch god that is fame.
Of course, all the talk over our Olympic performance is still fresh.
Early one December morning in 1998, commuters driving past the Auckland Town Hall would have seen hundreds of young women crowding these footpaths, all waiting for a chance to audition to become a pop star. The outcome? True Bliss, a chart-topping girl group that burned brightly for a few months and then disappeared. Whatever happened to those talented young women?
True Bliss.
True Bliss. True Bliss.
It was very successful commercially for a short space of time. And they were the first ones, so it was pretty good. They're the original. Yeah. And I think the concept was very successful, but it was a means to an end.
True Bliss were Kerry, Jo, Carly, Erica, and this little cutie, who grew up to be Megan Alatini.
Singing my life with this word.
I always wanted to be up on a stage with hundreds and thousands of people watching me, and I'm, you know, the centre of attention. I did the whole thing, singing in the shower, singing with my hairbrush, all of that. I totally did it.
How did you come to be at the Pop Stars audition?
My mother and one of my sisters, they actually saw the ad in the newspaper that said, "Pop Stars, do you think you've got what it takes to be a pop star?" And, you know, they gave their little wee blurb. And Mum said straight away,
"You got it, girl.
You look like a Spice Girl." And my sisters just said, "We don't care what you say. You are going to that audition whether you like it or not, even if we have to drive you there," which they did.
And what was it like? What did you sing?
I actually sung one of my mother's favourite songs. It was honestly the only song I could remember at the time. It's "Killing Me Softly" by Roberta Flack. But I think I did it like this. Killing me softly.
But even a bad case of the jitters couldn't hide Megan's obvious talent, and she was picked as a pop star.
We just wanted to get on with each other anyway, but as time flowed on, you know, different personalities definitely came out a little bit more. Some were a little bit feistier than others, and we definitely had our spats. But that's what's so cool about it. It was just so real.
But real was not how the made-for-TV girl group was perceived.
People bagged us before because they were going on about us being manufactured and so forth. But if you really go into all of our histories, we've all got musical backgrounds. We've always wanted to do it.
So what do you think was the turning point when you realised that you were going to be really famous?
2 guys and a girl came running up to us and said, "Oh my God, we saw you guys on TV. We have to have your autograph now." And we're like, "Are you sure you want, you know, our autograph?"
The television show shot the girls to instant stardom, and Megan became the most famous of all, thanks to the man in her life, rugby player Peter Alatini, who had just been selected as an All Black.
And it all happened at the same time, and it was just unreal. You know, we had camera crew come to our homes to interview us and people taking pictures. And it was really, really overwhelming, especially for my husband, because Pete is the kind of guy, he'll only do media things if he really has to, but other than that, he just wants to be in the background and just play it cool. And, you know, I was kind of the opposite. I just wanted to get in there and have my photo taken, and so he'd be like, hang on, slow down.
Yeah, we're kind of, you know, the posh and Becks of New Zealand. We were like, oh yeah, okay, we'd love to grab the same amount of money as them, but we're not. But yeah, I mean, all the comparisons, I think we kind of understood that we were going to be under the spotlight.
The public couldn't get enough of True Bliss. Their single shot straight to #1, their album went platinum, and they played to sell-out crowds throughout New Zealand.
I think we were really surprised at the amount of fans we had out there. It was just unreal. People shaking the van and shouting our names and, you know, finding out where we're staying and trying to get our autographs and stuff. So that was one of the best experiences. You know, it was just fantastic. And to think that here we are, Kiwi girls, singing New Zealand music, performing to the New Zealand public was just awesome. And I enjoyed every minute of it.
But it wasn't to last. While on tour, the girls heard the pop stars format had been sold internationally.
And we were like, well, that's cool, you know, but what's happening to us? So we didn't feel really so much betrayed. We were just confused. We didn't really know where we stood with our management and where we were heading. Then Carly decided that she wanted to leave the band. First we were really, really angry, and then we thought, no, there's still 4 of us, we can still go out there. So we did a few gigs, we did a few rugby games.
But it wasn't enough, and piece by piece the band broke apart after less than 2 years.
You know, we had to find jobs because True Bliss was not paying our bills. And so that's when I started my own little braiding studio in Dunedin.
Megan and Peter had been living apart, he playing for the Highlanders down south, while she played the pop star in Auckland. So Megan moved back to Dunedin. They have since relocated to Wellington and bought their first house.
It is so exciting. I can't believe that we've actually done it. It's just neat to know that, you know, we're homeowners.
They enjoy their home life and share it with their 7-year-old daughter, Tonika.
Do you miss me? How much?
Too much.
Too much? Yay!
I do not have a
I know, Auntie Meryl's just stirring.
Am I? I don't have one.
Okay. You don't know what that is, do you, Tanis? What friends? Only 7, Baba.
Megan and her siblings have been doing the family thing, performing together.
We also had the opportunity to be part of the show called The Tribe, which is filmed here in Wellington, which my younger sister Meryl's been part of for a number of years now.
The Tribe is a sci-fi drama with a cult international following made here in New Zealand. Recognising the potential of the sister act, the producers wrote in roles for both Megan and her other sister Monique. The trio also sing the song that plays over the show's end credits. The True Bliss experience simply confirmed her love of performance, and now Megan is working hard on both her singing and her acting. She's determined to make it in showbiz, and her #1 fan is her husband.
Oh yeah! I've heard the jokes that if she comes big, rugby will come second, and I'll be a bus driver of some sort if she's going on tour.
I know that I definitely want to still be involved in the entertainment industry, and I'm trying to do the groundwork to get there eventually.
Next, life goes on for another of the pop stars.
I walked in one day and I said to the girls, I've got a one-way ticket to Aussie and I don't know when I'm coming back.
And we meet the Kiwi who created the dream that would never last.
I thought, if my daughter wanted to be a Spice Girl, would that be possible? And this set out to answer that question.
I remember it being a really tacky TV programme.
Good to see the Kiwi concept was sold internationally.
I'm thinking this is going to probably take off and end up being a bit of a nightmare around the world.
I think it was quite sad that they broke up because they did sing together beautifully.
The idea for Pop Stars came about at my daughter's 10th birthday party. I sort of hired this band for 2 people to come and play. And my daughter and her friends commandeered the microphones and started singing Spice Girls. And they knew every move, they knew every word, they knew the routine. And, you know, I thought, if my daughter wanted to be a Spice Girls, would that be possible?
Television editor Bill Tepfer, along with producer Jonathan Dowling, decided to make a television series around the creation of an all-girls singing group. They never anticipated what a monster pop stars would become.
We knew it was going to, you know, a very commercial idea, and, you know, we didn't do it to create a you know, Spice Girls type group. We did it because we thought it was an interesting television idea.
But Kerry Harper didn't do it for the chance to be on television. She did it for the music.
I think it affected everyone differently. I think for me, I wasn't really in it for the fame side of things. I was in there to do my music and be out there. I mean, I just love performing. I love it.
Kerry's been involved in musical theatre since she was a little girl, and she still loves the stage above all.
Last year I went down and I did 42nd Street, so I got my little tap shoes out again and I learned how to tap dance all again. It was great. It was fantastic. If I could, I would be doing shows non-stop.
Kerry loved performing, but with instant celebrity and her father being ill, she found it difficult.
I found it really hard. I felt like, you know, some people thought they just knew me. And there were times when I went through a lot, you know, maybe more personal stuff, but I had to kind of hide it away from, you know, the public. And I think maybe sometimes I felt really crowded, but other times I loved it. You know, I loved the attention and making all these people so happy. But I have to say there were some times when I just wanted to lock myself in my bedroom.
And could you go and lock yourself in the bedroom?
Not very often. Not very often.
Did you end up developing an impression of the media?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm a lot more careful now than when I first started. Just because they can make something out to be something that it's not.
And the people close to you, your family, your friends, how did it affect your relationship with them?
During the duration of Pop Stars, I think I found out who my true friends were, because they were the people that stuck by me, and to this day are still standing by me. My family, I think they found it really hard.
I think most people become famous gradually, and suddenly being famous overnight, because we kept it very quiet until they were revealed, and then just let the media go to town. I think, you know, it was very stressful and very hard. They didn't have any idea what would come next, whether they would be laughed at or celebrated, you know, whether they'd end up rich, or no one had any idea really. I'm not sure we ever prepared the girls for this post-Pop Stars life, because we were making the program as it went to air, which was one of the things we tried to do from the beginning, is to give it an immediacy. So we were just flying by the skin of our pants, and I was delivering the programs the morning that it went to air. And what happened after it all came to a stop, I don't think any of us thought of.
I was really lucky at the time because I was still living with my mum, and thank goodness for my mum, because I could not have paid any rent. You know, and I don't know how the other girls survived. That's why it just got a little bit too hard in the end for me, because I wasn't getting any money, and I couldn't just go out and get a retail job or anything like that.
Because you're the girl from True Bliss and you can't go and work in a shoe shop or a clothing shop.
Exactly. I had to kind of keep that glamour persona about me.
The pressure finally became too much, and Kerry made a life-changing decision.
So I walked in one day and I said to the girls, I've got a one-way ticket to Aussie and I don't know when I'm coming back. And it was sad. It was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. But in a way, I'm glad I did it. Because I think if I had stuck around here, I just would have gone mental.
I think True Bliss as a band always had a limited shelf life. It was sustained by television, and it was a product of television. And once they stopped being on television, there's no structure in this country to keep something like that going.
After a recuperative year out of the limelight in Australia, Kerry came home to record a single produced by Shay Fu. She also sings with Ted Clark in the Love Shack on a regular basis, but remains realistic about the music industry in this country.
I kind of thought, well, I'm never going to make enough money to live on doing my music in New Zealand.
Never say never.
Well, never say never. One day, I'm going to take it around the world, you know, but I always want to have something behind me, because you've got to.
So Kerry is spending a year getting a tertiary qualification in media design.
I have officially kind of gone back to school, you could say. I am studying at media design school, and I'm doing my graphics and design, which is another big passion of mine, and I've always loved doing it.
The format's been sold to over 40 countries now. They're making pop stars in China and Malaysia. I mean, it's global. I look at it on TV in the media, and I can't believe that it started off as sort of small idea at a girl's birthday party.
Oh, look at you, baby spice.
Hey.
This is all them doing sound checks.
Yeah.
So Kerry is busy in both the recording and the design studio. Megan is studying acting as well as singing with her sisters. Erica and Joe both present television programs, and Carly has just released her single. As for the Popstars format, the stats tell the story. It's the most successful TV format in the world, sold to over 40 countries. Millions have auditioned for the show. There have been #1 hits for Aussie's Bardo, UK's Hearsay, and America's Eden's Crush. The first album for Irish band Six went 6 times platinum. And arguably the most successful band, German No Angels, had 3 consecutive #1 hits.
Oh, my kitties. I love this. I love watching the faces of all the kids.
Yeah.
In the audience. Just and this little girl.
Amazing memories.
Oh, yeah.
How do you feel watching it again? Seeing all this again?
It's quite sad.
Is it?
Yeah, it's sad.
Why?
But it's nice, though. It's nice to have all these memories, and still part of me.
Do you miss it?